Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for taking some time today to come and do a little practice on the kinds of things that can help in pain recovery. So we're going to do a little bit of a different kind of um, I don't know, meditation, visualization, tracking exercise today. I want to preface it by saying just a little bit about the nature of pain reprocessing and pain recovery. And so I think here the most important thing to bear in mind is that the goal any specific day when we're doing any practice is not to magically make the pain go away. The pain may go up, the pain may go down, we may be more aware of it, less aware of it. Those are all just fine. The goal over time is to start teaching that subconscious kind of doing part of our brain that the sensations we're feeling in our body are safe, and that frankly, that we're safe. And over time, as a brain starts to hear that, it learns that it's okay to turn off the pain signaling because, of course, pain is our brain's way of protecting our body. It's very, very real, but sometimes it gets a little stuck in alert mode and danger mode and keeps signaling pain even when we are really safe. So one way we reverse that is by focusing on all kinds of things that can help us, again, over time, convince that subconscious that we're okay, we're safe, and it's okay to let the pain signaling settle down. And so with that, we're going to take about 15 minutes here and do a little visualization. And then I'll leave some time at the end for us to really process it together through the chat and kind of me talking back and forth with the chat. Okay, so today it is great if you can find yourself somewhere comfortable to sit or even to lie down. But take a couple minutes to settle yourself in. And it's fine if you can see the screen, but in fact, as long as you can hear me, that's all you're going to need today. Because I'm going to really encourage you for the kind of visualization we're going to do today to let yourself close your eyes and come quite literally on a little trip with me. So let's start by just taking a few deep breaths in and out, and another deep breath in and out. And just for the sake of it, let's just do one more to kind of set ourselves in a really different kind of space today as we start to do this meditation. So one more big breath in and out. Wonderful. I'm sorry if I'm reorienting here, so I don't have quite so much behind my head. Okay, so what we're going to do today is take ourselves on a journey. So I really would encourage you to close your eyes and let yourself just for a moment almost see yourself floating out from your body and up. You could almost visualize um, some piece of you disconnecting from the time and the space and the place that you are and letting your imagination take you to somewhere from your past, somewhere from a picture you've seen somewhere from your imagination that for you feels safe. And the first thing we're going to do is look for a couple safe spaces. So let's let ourselves float to a first one. It could be somewhere in nature. It could be somewhere in a person's house or a location that reminds you of a person who felt very safe and comforting for you. It could be, again, something just purely what you imagine a safe place to look like. But let's take a minute and just let ourselves, in our imaginations, drift into that environment. And as we enter it, we're going to let ourselves visualize it as tangibly as we possibly can. So we're going to let ourselves look around the space. And as we're looking around, notice what you see. Notice things that are close to you. Notice things that are farther away from you. Just let yourself do kind of a 365, a full circle around, just slowly turning around in that space and letting your eyes soak in everything they see and letting your ears soak in what you could hear in that space, whether sounds of nature or sounds of people. And maybe notice what you might be smelling in that space, or what sensations come to your body. Is the room or the space warm or cool? And as you're sitting or standing there, and as you're letting yourself just pay attention to this space, let yourself experience what it feels like to be somewhere that is truly safe. And when you're in that special place for you, and as you're feeling safe, and as you're noticing the environment, let's take another breath in. And this time we're going to follow that breath. We're going to follow that air through your body. And we're going to look for some sensations in your body. And as you find sensations, whether they're pleasant or unpleasant, just notice them and say, hey, I'm so glad you're here with me today in this place that is so, so safe for me. In this place that I find comforting or inspiring. And now I'm going to be quiet for a minute or two. And while we're being quiet, just continue to watch with each breath in. You're pulling the air. And then you can let it kind of take yourself on a journey on a watch down through your body to look for sensations and to remind those sensations that you've asked them to join you today in this place that is somewhere that you really love. Because those sensations also are really just feelings. They're not dangerous. You are just fine as you're sitting or lying here today. And so we can notice what we're experiencing in our body. We can notice from this place that we find so comforting. We can just notice here, whatever we notice with our breath in our body is just a sensation. It's just our mind, the same way our mind has brought us to this place. Our mind has decided that that's a sensation we should experience now. And so we can just say hello to it. We can just notice it. We can just watch what it's doing. And we can just, for now, welcome it to the space because it's just another sensation. It's just one more piece that our brain is turning on, the same way it's letting us journey to the safe place. And let's take a couple more moments here. You may find you want to shift your focus back out to noticing something about that place that you are. Noticing something that you particularly like about it. And then shifting your gaze and your breath back to noticing something about your inside experience, about the sensations in your body. And continue breathing. Continue noticing. Even seeing if you can make everything a little more vivid. What can you do to see or hear or smell or taste the place that we are with even more vividness? Maybe finding a detail or two that are really soothing for you. And then also letting yourself notice the same way sensations in your body. Even letting yourself notice them in a way that's a little more vivid, but also part of this very, very special, safe place. And then I'm going to invite you to use your breath again. A few deep breaths. And actually come back with me and let yourself float up again. Picture yourself floating up out of your body a little bit so you can start to look down at that safe space and maybe wave to it or wink to it with some appreciation that you got to be there. And for this next piece, I'm going to invite you to come with me to a place that's incredibly special to me. So I invite you to come into my safe place. So if you just will take another breath, you're going to start to notice the smell of the slightly salty air that goes with being near the seaside. And you're going to start to find yourself looking down and seeing beneath you a sliver of beach that's sitting in between the ocean and then the beach and then a dune and then a river and then the rest of the land behind it. But we're going to keep letting ourselves come down and we'll settle ourselves right on the top of that dune where we can look around and we can see the sand at our feet, the sand that's anchored by lots of grassy plants that are soft and whisper in the breeze. And we can look out and we see the beach in front of us, a broad, white, sandy beach with waves that are rolling in. Today it's very calm. The waves are pretty small, but they roll in one wave and the next. And when we really pay attention, we can start to hear the waves while we're smelling that salty air. And we're feeling a few little brushes of the plants around us against our skin. And the heat of the sun happens to be shining from behind our head. And as you're sitting with me in my safe space, right here looking out at the beach, and as we're just letting ourselves enjoy each detail we can find, maybe even reaching down, picturing the sand. You could run your hand over it or pick some of the fine, fine sand that's warmed by the sun and feel what it feels like as you let it scoop up some and let it slowly run through your hand. And then let's again shift our gaze and shift our experience into our bodies. Let's notice what we discover, what we feel when you're sitting in Abigail's safe space, when you're sitting in this place that to me is so special and so comforting and so soothing, so that I am able to experience, the sun is getting in my eyes, so that I and you are able to experience what's happening in our body. It's kind of like the sand that's running through your hand. It's just the sensations that are here now. And we can look at them in the same way we can notice with the sand its warmth, right? Its temperature and its texture and the way it's kind of flowing down through our hand. Let's see if we can do the same with the sensations in our body. Just letting ourselves notice them. Just letting them be something that's happening, but not something that's not something that's scary, not something that we have to control, just something that we can be curious about as we're here together today. And as we're here just watching what's happening inside our body while sitting on the beach, while on the dune, looking out over the beach and seeing the blue of the sky. It's a lighter shade. And the blue of the water. It's a darker shade. And the white of the cresting waves. And the smell of the ocean. All of those we're going to allow ourselves to experience right alongside the sensations in our body. Because we're just reminding ourselves that those can be part of this safe space too, because they're also safe. So there's nothing dangerous about them. They're also just what our subconscious brain has decided to turn on because it's trying to keep us safe. But we can notice right now, what do they feel like? What do they look like? What's similar? What's different to how they were when we first came in to Abigail's beach? What's same or what's different from the place that you were before at your safe space? We'll just take another moment or two here together, experiencing this special place and also experiencing everything that might be going on inside our bodies. And then for just a moment before we end, maybe shift your attention and just see if you can find somewhere in your body that's most congruent, that goes best with the place you are. Somewhere that feels nice, somewhere that feels calm, somewhere that feels soothing. Just maybe take another of those breaths in. And as you watch the air on your exhale, scan through your body. Just notice, just be curious. Are there parts of your body that feel like they're a very comfortable fit in a safe place? Then we're going to let ourselves start to come out and maybe take a big breath. And you can start to see yourself coming up or rising up out of the scene. And you can watch Abigail's beach and dunes starting to get smaller and smaller in the distance. You feel yourself coming back to the place you are now and noticing where you're sitting or lying, but bringing with you back into the reality world, the place you are now, that sense of safety, that sense that the sensations in your body are okay, that you can still be safe, that they can still be safe. You can still be curious about them and comfortable in parts of your body and curious about the parts that are maybe less comfortable, but all bringing back with you that inner feeling, whatever it was that you had in your space or at my beach. And then maybe take 2 quick breaths to pull you back in to this world. And then open your eyes. And I'm going to shift gears a little bit here for the end of our time together. And I would love for folks to put stuff in the chat just about your experience, what you liked about this, what was similar or different from experiences you've had before, what moments held you or didn't, or any questions you have about pain, recovery, Lynn, anything. And I will just flip over so I can kind of start responding as people are chatting. Michael, Michal, and Sarah, hypnotic and wonderful. And I'm so glad. What a lovely way to go into the weekend. And of course, you can get a copy. We send them out about a week after. It takes us a little time to edit them. And then we also always post them on our YouTube channels. Jane, oh, I'm so lovely. Again, our goal isn't to make the tingly and the whatever feel good. The goal is to just sit. But it's always lovely when our brain does decide to listen and you get to feel kind of good. And what a wonderful thing to take with you into the weekend. Oh, Kathleen, also so glad that you're feeling peaceful and that you're seeing that that feeling of peace is something that you can bring into your life whenever you want. It's not something that somebody external controls. Yes, great question. Idiopathic small fiber neuropathy. I'm assuming that's the rest of what's coming. Yes, we work with a lot of this at Lin. And it's definitely a situation that or a condition that for many, many people, we can make a huge difference in. Sometimes there's like a diabetic component that can be a little bit more complicated. But if you come and set up a Lin membership, part of what we'll do is really assess kind of with the whole picture of you. Are we going to be able to be helpful there? But I will say, if you experience some shift in your sensations today on the call, to I think it's Cam there that was asking the question, that's a really good sign that we're going to be able to be helpful. Oh, Kelly. There you go. Sorry. Oh, good, Carrie. I'm so glad that you got to do this with your husband. By the way, I'll just share a personal story. The reason that space is so special to me is it's where my husband and I first went on our first date and have spent every summer since then. So how special that you got to share that with your husband as well. Michael, feeling a vision of a couple of visits to beautiful California beaches. Yes. Isn't that an amazing, amazing thing to be able, to take these experiences we've had in the world of beaches or forests or my grandmother's kitchen and the chocolate chip cookie smell there and use them to really aid in our recovery. Regina, yes, we will keep doing these every Friday in all different flavors and variations. I seem to be doing quite a few of them, sometimes me, sometimes one of our coaches, but we will just keep coming back and really trying to, give every Friday a sense of what we do here at Lin, of what our coaches can help you to do one-on-one individually and really make, exactly the right fit for you. But also to have a flavor of the kinds of tools and the diversity of tools that help aid in really reversing out and pain sensations and getting to a place where you're back in control of your life. Unexplained pain after dental surgery, Jeff, all the time, like all the time. So definitely come schedule an intake conversation with our team. I can tell you just yesterday, I was reviewing 2 cases that are doing great with unexplained jaw and post-dental pain. Great. Hunter's got the link here for where you can just schedule a conversation. Happy to answer a couple more questions or thoughts that people have in the last few minutes here. Um, Carol, oh, thank you so, so much. I am, again, always delighted when the pain settles down for folks, but whether they go up or down a little bit, um, I do think sometimes some kind of lots of different ways of starting to let ourselves kind of lean into the sensations, but also do it in a way that feels really safe, makes just a huge difference. Sarah, 2 weeks in, I'm optimistic for you too, and just stay with the journey. It's pain recovery is not a linear process. It's going to have its ups and its downs. Post mastectomy, yes, if it's been more than a couple of months, Janet. Um, uh, no question that post mastectomy, especially if it's also kind of a post cancer oncological pain, very, very common. First of all, you should know. So you're not crazy. It happens all the time. It's very real pain. But certainly a few months out from the surgery, you probably have pain that's the kind that we can help you turn down. Um, Very, very often that's the case. Um, Carrie, like, do you do a physical body relaxation guided meditation? Well, I'll tell you what, Carrie, we will make that the topic for next week. So, Hunter, uh, let's make sure we tell the team next week we'll do just a whole body relaxation. I love, love, love doing those. I'll share the one I do with my kids at night. And Hunter, great to have you back. Fibromyalgia, Sandy, yes, all the time, all the time, all the time. And Kara, unfortunately, guessed just in the US. And now, Hunter, it's back to you.